Hey guys, Lola Selena here. I also go by Island Turtle. Welcome to BOMISpirit. I hope everybody's doing good today, relatively. Um, I did not plan to go live today. It was very, just, well, words, sorry. That's the nature of the day. That's the nature of the day. Some of you may also be feeling that too, even just with the nature of the week. I wanted to hop on here just to give a little bit of a heads up to some of the energy that we are like slowly making our way into with this eclipse slash September equinox portal, if you will. I will be live tomorrow on Patreon. I think I scheduled it for 3 p.m. Pacific. This whole week has been moving so fast. That's definitely the nature of leading up to this eclipse and equinox portal. Anyway, yeah, I will be live tomorrow on Patreon at about 3 p.m. Pacific time for the new moon Virgo hangout, where I will also be talking a lot about the equinox as well. And also, if you look in the description box, I actually also very just kind of in the flow of things in the flow of things, created an intention setting workbook actually for the equinox. My god, words. Mercury's doing a lot today. We will talk about that today. So if you think that's something that would help you, there's a link for that below. You can access it through Patreon actually, which patrons, I'll be live with you guys in about an hour, and we're going to talk a lot about that too. But yeah, this week is like so special, right? I know I've been a little MIA, but I've just been honoring the flow. So if you're new, welcome. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, comment. We're definitely in a big like flux flow period over here on this channel. But yeah, I definitely wanted to talk a little bit about the energy we got going on. So my patrons already know, because we talked about it a few days ago, that leading up to this eclipse, leading up to the equinox, is a boiling point, hence the title. Okay. There's a very prominent astrological reason as to why, which again, I'll be talking more in details about it tomorrow, but I will tell all of you here. We have a rare aspect happening on the eclipse that actually is also happening today. And I think that's why today in particular feels so so much like that. I don't know if you guys have been experiencing that too. A lot of flow, yes, but a lot of intensity. Oh, a lot of intensity. A lot of intensity. But this rare aspect that's happening is called a kite aspect. And for those who are new to astrology, don't know what that means, I'll do my best to relay the lingo to you. But a kite aspect pattern basically happens when you have two other aspect patterns that are working together, specifically a grand trine and a minor grand trine. So basically two different forms of triangles connected together, making a kite. If you like can picture like the shape of a kite, right? It's like it's got the two long sides and the two short sides, and then a line in the middle, right? So that's a kite pattern, just in very basic layman's terms. What is so special about kite aspect patterns is that the apex planet, or the focal point, if you will, which I like focal point better than apex planet. I don't know, it just feels better on the tongue when I say it. It's just how I feel. All of these celestial bodies working together are really working in favor or towards the apex planet or focal point. And for the eclipse, it's the actual eclipse itself, which is kind of gnarly. Very, very cosmic, very cosmic kind of vibes. But today, leading, like the last couple days leading up into today, thank you, Spirit. Thank you. They said talk about Monday. All right, so we're going to backtrack a little bit here, but around between Sunday and Tuesday, I really want to say Monday though, for most people, some people were feeling like how do I want to say, feeling really laid out, feeling exhausted, super fatigued, needing to sleep a lot, that kind of a thing. I do believe we did have solar flares, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong about that. If you know, then you know. But I was aware of that. And some people in the midst of that were able to rest and recover in whatever way they needed to. But other people, it was definitely a preparation. Yeah, where it was a preparation of leading up into this kind of intense energy for this eclipse and this equinox, right? Yeah, so if you were going through that, that's just confirmation that you weren't alone in experiencing that, okay? Now, again, the energy has been getting like more in flow, but also building up to this like boiling point of the eclipse. But today, Mercury. Mercury is in the final degrees of Virgo today, right before it goes into Libra. And if you have been keeping yourself updated on the eclipse, you know the eclipse happens at 29 degrees Virgo, right? For this new moon partial solar eclipse. So you see the echo here, right? So right now today, Mercury is creating the same aspect pattern that we're going to have on the eclipse. It's just Mercury's the focal point versus the eclipse is the focal point, which means all these celestial bodies are working together towards Mercury right now. So, in terms of making plans, in terms of conversations, communicating with other people, in terms of even just how you're digesting information, there's probably a lot of intensity around that. You could probably even see it on me as I'm trying to talk and I'm trying to be eloquent. And there's just so much moving through me right now. Um, and this may look different for different people. Sorry, I'm just watching these like super, super tiny birds. They're so tiny. I'm like, and there's a bunch of them. Anyway, squirrel. Mercury being the focal point, I think, is actually a good little also preparation, I would say, for the eclipse, right? Because in these kind of energies, so much change happens for people internally, externally. Big decisions are made, big changes are forced upon some people, right? But with Mercury always touching that place in our lives where we are planning and we're navigating and we're orchestrating, we're basically like trying to find our way in the midst of all these changes, right? Being the focal point of this kite aspect pattern, I feel like is actually setting some of us up for some other changes or domino effects that are related to the eclipse for us personally in our own life, right? So it's just kind of interesting to observe. Now, some people on a more basic level, you may just experience like miscommunications, really bizarre, like needing to make decisions in like a crunch kind of moment. An important thing about the astrology of today, along with this kite aspect pattern of the eclipse, is that Mercury is opposing Saturn. So there is this kind of malefic, crunchy, Saturnian intensity around Mercury today, and that will also take place at the eclipse. We also have a fixed star that is relating to journeys and traveling and progressions, and I don't think that's, a coincidence either. So as you are navigating your flow and you're making your plans and you're talking to people and you're thinking things through, just be aware that today will directly lead into the eclipse in terms of all of that. Now, some astrologers would say, with the opposition to Saturn, that it's actually a time where you should not make big decisions. I think that's kind of unavoidable for most people right now. Just speaking honestly. And if you can avoid it and you feel like you want to avoid it, I don't know, do you? But it does feel like it's not very avoidable right now. So happy to see you. Been checking for new videos since the last couple of days. Oh, well, good to see you too. I know, again, I've been very like, there's been a lot going on over here. A lot going on. But yeah, I just wanted to hop on here and mention that. And also with Equinox, not everyone honors that. Not everyone is interested in that. But if this is like for the first time you're hearing it and you're like, what is that about? Just to give a little bit of information here, but the September equinox is a threshold. It's when we are moving into the next season. So in the Northern Hemisphere, it's when we're moving into fall officially. In the Southern Hemisphere, it's moving into spring officially, which by the way, the workbook is Northern and Southern Hemisphere friendly. But yeah, I feel like there's a need to offer awareness and emphasis of how today directly links to the changes that we're also working through on this eclipse day, which is just in a couple days, more like a few days, really. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you. You may find that what you decide on today may look completely different by the time the eclipse comes. That's something that they're kind of relaying through me now to talk about. Yeah, and like they're really highlighting that Saturn energy too. So Saturn is still working with Neptune. It's still disillusioning Neptune. It's still grounding us in practical reality, if you will. And there is. There's this I don't have a word for that flavor. Like how that feels. There's disillusionment still happening, but Mercury opposing that disillusionment. Yeah, Yeah. So I'm almost hesitant to say it, but it is something I'm feeling. If you're gonna make big life decisions today, maybe just ask yourself if it's something that can wait a few days. Because yeah, it does. It feels like there's something like about today that almost feels, it's not illusionary, that's not the right word. Like you could make a decision today, but yeah, by the time the eclipse comes, it may look completely different. Yeah, so I guess I do just want to recommend that. Um, but again, you're the master of your own life. Make your own decisions in whatever way that feels best for you. Hold on, let's see here. I'm waiting for a key in the mail to a new house my man bought for us. Oh shit, moving to England when he comes to get me when he's ready soon. Wow, congratulations. That's huge. Uh let's see. I made a big life decision Monday and gave my victim impact speech in court. Wow, that's a huge deal. I'm sure that was not like super easy, but I hope you felt better and empowered by that. Um, this guy ended things with me today, but I have a feeling he's gonna come back. This would be quite a day to end a relationship. I'm also very curious how the energy is gonna start to settle after the eclipse and after the equinox. Because yeah, it just feels like there's this big crescendo moment of the eclipse itself. Which actually, to that end, I'm going to say this one last thing, and then I'm actually going to hop off to give myself a little bit of time before connecting with patrons over there on Patreon. Um, the boiling point effect here of the kite aspect pattern. Kite aspect patterns have this tendency to really want to prioritize what is sustainable, what has longevity, what has um lifespan, right? And also what holds meaning, what is significant, what has purpose, especially with Virgo being wrapped up in it, right? And so that is also part of this boiling point, especially with ecliptic energy, where it's like if there are still things in your life or people in your life or lifestyle choices, whatever, that do not actually carry a sense of purpose or value or meaning or significance or have no longevity, no sustainability to them, they're probably going away, and probably very unexpectedly and probably involuntarily. Not to say that that will happen, but the energy is very likely, especially again with this fixed star activity that's also relating to journeys and progression and all of that as well. And in relation to today, that is also part of the energy of today, not just the eclipse. So again, it's like today feels like an interesting little important domino that is playing out that's going to hit the next domino of the eclipse for us and individually. There we go. I think that's a better way to say it. Yeah, today we are knocking down a domino that's going to knock down the domino of the eclipse in our own lives, however that's coming up for us. Um, yeah, interesting. So you may find today that when you're having important conversations, any conversations really, or navigating any sort of plans, or if you're even just like feeling like your perspective or your mindset is shifting, just know that you're knocking over a domino in relation to what is sustainable, what is purposeful, and what's not in your life anymore. Mm, mm, interesting. I will say the other celestial bodies that are part of this kite aspect pattern are mostly air placements. So Uranus and Gemini, Pluto and Aquarius. It's like very intense. And of course, Saturn and Pisces conjunct Neptune and Aries is the other leg of that, the other point of that. Um, just with that air energy too, it's like, again, that speaks to like communication and like how we're seeing things and even getting into new things with some of that Gemini energy, revealing things through Pluto and Aquarius. It's a really interesting time. It's a really interesting time. It's a really intense time, but this is the boiling point. It doesn't have to be like in a bad way. Boiling point can also be something that's beautiful, like something beautiful just emerges and it's finally like it's here, right? I think some people will definitely be experiencing it that way. Um, let's see. For not a wait, hold on, let me come back up here. It is not recommended to make any plans during the eclipse this weekend. If you, yeah, if you can help it, wait. Again, that's this is the thing, right? It's like we are human, we have lives, we have free will, and sometimes life does not wait for us. Right? Sometimes life doesn't wait for us, and sometimes things happen in these crazy windows for a reason, right? So if you are like, this is the time and I need to like make decisions now, or I need to act now, and there's like no ifs, ands, or buts about it, and you know that's your truth, then do it, right? It doesn't mean anything bad is going to happen necessarily. Um, but yeah, when it comes to the study of astrology, and I usually kind of say this in the beginning, but as you can tell, this mercurial energy is like not sitting well with me right now. It's really not. It's been a crazy, crazy ass week for me already. Um, I usually say this in the beginning that with astrology, it's a beautiful study, it's a beautiful discipline. It is, I like that it has like a concreteness to it, but it's also still very malleable, right? Because it's literally a form of divination. And I love that about it. But we should not make all of our decisions in our life according to astrology. Prioritize what you need, prioritize what you want, right, in your life, and then use astrology as supplemental information that may help you with that. But yeah, I wouldn't avoid big life decisions. How do I want to say? No, let me say it another way. I wouldn't prioritize astrology over what I need in my life in the moment. There, that's a better way to say that. Um, I'm grateful to have caught you live. I'm glad to be here. The energy on point, and I'm right on time. Glad you're here too. Glad you're here too. Oh, excuse me. Is there anything else I want to say about all this energy? But all this freaking intensity. Oh, well, wait a minute. I have the chart up for today up here. Just checking on Venus really quickly. Yeah, Mars and Venus are still in a nice position. Venus is at the tail end of Leo right now. Why did I get pulled to Venus? I got pulled to Venus for some reason. Oh, Chiron. Chiron. Venus is still doing some stuff with Chiron. So I mentioned this on Patreon. Um, so Mars and Venus all week sextile with each other, right? But in the beginning of the week, Venus has been aspecting Chiron in a positive way, in a very helpful, supportive way. And that is starting to dissipate. And Venus is going to start moving into a T square. That's the other thing. There's some added tension and intensity coming in with that movement of Venus going from a trine with Chiron, which is like finding confidence and triumph and new experiences that you haven't had before, that you've been scared to have before, insecure to have before, by way of play and pleasure and fun and flirting and being social and creative and all that stuff. That's starting to go away. As we're at this Mercury kind of giving us a taste of this kite aspect pattern, which again we're going to have on the eclipse. Yeah, Venus moving into that T square, it's going to make that intensity of reaching this like boiling point of what matters, what has longevity and what doesn't, and what needs to go is going. What needs to happen and unveil itself and emerge is unveiling itself and emerging. Yeah, the T square is between Venus and Uranus and Vesta. So all three of these celestial bodies pulling on each other and pushing against each other. And this is also once Venus is in Virgo, by the way, right? So relationships and pleasure and creative endeavors that are wrapped up in being of service, that are wrapped up in, that's interesting. I'm hearing sacred space with that. That's interesting. Yeah, sacred space. Maybe even, you know, those of you who have a strong connection to nature, even that like playing a big role there with Virgo, or even feeling pleasure by just having more order in your life, right? That being pushed and pulled upon with Uranus and Gemini, which already creates a lot of like provoking, pushing. kind of energy. And then Vesta in Sagittarius, which is more about our sacred flame and feeling alive with life, especially in Sag, wanting to really explore and try new things, right? In terms of what makes us feel fulfilled. So yeah, with that, I just feel a lot of like wanting new things, not knowing which way to go, relationships getting in the way of that, wanting freedom, but feeling also restricted and rigid at the same time. Yeah, that just feels like a tug of war that doesn't feel super great. Just keeping it real. I also feel like with that, there's going to be some major financial changes for some people. Unexpected financial changes with Venus and Virgo squaring Uranus and Gemini. I just feel it. It wouldn't shock me. But this is energy we're moving into as we also get closer to this boiling point of the eclipse here. Okay. So yeah, just wanted to mention that. I dislike seeing content which screams at you, do not do XYZ this weekend. Like it projects the wrong message and creates collective fear and distrust. Yeah, I can't even tell you how over it I am with the effing fear mongering. So over it. Not even just with astrology, as you guys know. Just like I'm so effing over it. So over it. So over it. Anyway, it's not I'm not here to talk about that. But yeah, that's just all what I wanted to relay to you guys about what's going on today, and also again leading up to the eclipse and equinox threshold that we are moving up into. So I'm gonna ground myself. That's the other thing too. It's like this mercurial energy, and it could just be how I'm experiencing it. Some of you may be experiencing this way. I feel like it's really like it's just wanting to take me up into the realms and just like be in this very high intense energy, and all I want to do is be mellowed out. But I think that's the Uranus playing off of Mercury. Like Uranus playing off of Mercury is very overstimulated. It's like it's overstimulated mental energy. It can lead to really beautiful breakthroughs and insights and all that beautiful stuff. But hold on a second. Come back. I want to see the chart while I talk about this. But damn, I just want to chill. I just want to slow down. Just want to slow down. I want to sit on the grass. I want to have some quiet. I want shit to slow down. Again, there's been a lot of things going on in my external reality that have been just like non-stop activity, like out of my control, non-stop activity, and it's not my vibe at all. But anyway, I'm gonna stop rambling. I'm gonna go. I love you guys. Again, if you're interested in the September Equinox workbook, it is listed below. And if you're a patron, you'll probably see it over there already. And I'm gonna take a minute to eat some grounding food, probably, or a snack. And I'll see you guys over on Patreon. All right, so enjoy this time. And yeah, I will see you guys later. And if I do have bandwidth, by the way, for those who are on YouTube who are not patrons, I will be doing a more in-depth video of the eclipse at some point later on. If I have the bandwidth, I really hope I do, because this really is a very special eclipse. Like when I saw that kite aspect pattern, I was like, whoa. And then when I saw that the actual eclipse itself is the apex planet, I was like, shit. Not in a bad way. Just like, oh, cosmic forces at work. Anyway, I'm gonna go. Love you guys. Take care.